Have you ever wondered why some YouTube channels seem to just keep moving ahead steadily, while others just don't seem to move much at all? YouTube is definitely a crowded space, but even this month I managed to gain 843 subscribers. I accumulated 88,000 hours of watch time, and currently I have 15,700 subscribers. I'll be honest with you, it has not been easy, but it doesn't have to be quite so hard for you. If you feel like your channel is stuck, or if you're just wondering, is it even worth bothering starting when this space is so crowded, then this video is for you. I'm going to share the strategies and insights I've discovered along the way to help me grow consistently on YouTube, and I'll give you some real world actionable information. Right, ready? Okay, let's begin. You always need to know the scale of the problem that you're facing, but you also need to understand the opportunity that it presents. Look, if I tell you that only 1 in 10 channels actually make it to 10,000 subscribers, how do you view this? Do you see this as you've only got a 10% chance of getting to 10,000 subscribers? Or do you do what I do and say, okay, if I get to 10,000 subscribers, I'm ahead of 90% of the other channels. 10,000 subscribers will put you in the top 10% of channels on YouTube, and then you are no longer in a saturated market. So with that mindset shift, I just reframed this, and that mountain that I have to climb now is, yes, still a challenge, but it's also got a big potential reward attached to it as well. And for me, this is why I focus so hard on the 10,000 subscriber target. It doesn't really literally mean anything, but it was a good goal to aim at when you're starting a new channel on YouTube. And one of the other things that's always true is markets that are saturated are usually full of people just having a go, trying something out, seeing if they like it. These people are not going to stick around for a long time. Most of them will give up, and then a new bunch will come in, and they'll have a go for a while, and then they'll give up. So videos with titles like taking photos in the Lake District, whilst that is a searchable title, generally speaking, that's more of a browse-based title. That means that it's the kind of video that YouTube is going to show to people that it thinks are interested in that type of topic for a short period of time, and it either picks up traction and gets going, or kind of just fades away. Now, in comparison to that style of video, which is where it comes up on your homepage on YouTube, the other type of video that you can make on YouTube are search-based videos. This is the kind of video that people look for whenever they want a review on something or a how-to guide how to do something. When someone's looking for a review of something, they tend to watch everything that they can find. And the reason they do that is because they want as many different opinions as possible. So Canon 5D Mark II review is an example of a search-based title. That's something that someone will literally search for and then watch that video. And that means that YouTube is going to bring up those videos that are searched for and display everything that's available on YouTube. But not only that, in 1 year's time and in 2 years' time, when people are searching for those reviews, my videos are still going to pop up and be seen by people. This gives them longevity. A review is simpler to do. I know what I'm talking about because I've used the thing. I'm not having to come up with creative video ideas. There's nothing particularly complicated about doing a review. I just need to give people my views, give them my thoughts, maybe show them a couple of pictures, and it makes itself almost. Now, if you're in a genre where you still feel that it's too saturated for that, I would just dig down deeper within the subject. Let me give you an example. So I'll pick something that's a really big product. Let's say I pick the Apple Watch. The Apple Watch, there's going to be tons of reviews on that, literally thousands probably. But what I would do is I'd be really specific about my use case for it. So at the top level, so you might have like Apple Watch review. Then you might say, right, I'm into hiking. So Apple Watch review for hiking. That narrows the audience down, and some people are going to search for that. But then depending on where I live and my use cases of it, I might narrow it down even more. I might say for hiking in winter. So you want to end up having a less saturated market for your searchable term, and you can experiment. There's nothing to stop you. Like in that example, you can apply that to any product. I can do things like my Canon 5D Mark II review, Canon 5D Mark II for landscape photography review, Canon 5D Mark II for portrait photography review. And it doesn't matter if other people have made the same video, because your opinion and your views on things are always yours and they're unique. You'll have a slightly different edge, slightly different angle on what you're saying, and people will value that because they want to know your experience of that thing. So instead of just saying, I'm only going to make one of those videos, Make all of them, because this gives you now more content. And then think of other things that you can do with it. Think of how you use a product in your genre that is specific to the way you use it. So I want you to first think about the type of thing that you want your channel to be about. You probably already know that, but I want you to take pen and paper. I want you to do a good old-fashioned brainstorm. This is just, we're going to write down all the words and things that we can think of that are connected to what we do. But you should very specifically make it about how you do it, not what other people do, not the entire scope of whatever it is that you're into and you want your channel to be about. I want it to be very much from your perspective. What techniques do you use? What equipment do you use? How do you do what you do? How do you use the techniques and the equipment together? How do you do that? I want you to write down all of those words, like literally with a pen and paper. I have an A4 pad at the side, and I'm often writing down words and ideas and getting ideas for videos like this. So what happens is, as we start going down the thought process of opening up that kind of box in our mind and saying, right, what is it that we use? What do we do? Ideas will start coming to you. And then what I want you to do is take another piece of paper and start jotting down what would be titles for videos. Make how-to guides, how to do this, how to do that. Teach people how to do things, because people are hungry for information. Now, when it comes to the titles and thumbnails of these videos, they basically will make themselves. You can keep the title as simple as Apple Watch review for hiking, something like that. You can keep it as simple as that, and people will watch that because people are going to search for that title. The thumbnails should be really simple. I would just take a close-up picture of the product and make that the thumbnail. Don't worry about being in the thumbnails at the start or anything like that. Just concentrate on getting the product as big as possible on the thumbnail. I didn't do that in the past. I kind of regret that, and that's what I would do now, because people are looking for that thing, and when they see that thing, they recognize it. Then they read the title and it matches the thing that they're looking for. They click it. So in the next section, I'm going to talk about viewer retention and how to get people to watch more of your video. But I just want to mention something about this strategy with these videos. And that is, my point of doing this and my thinking behind it was that I need to build a foundation of viewers on YouTube. I need to get people in, and I need to have people consistently watching. And with the searchable titles, there are always people looking for it. So my videos don't die as such, because when you put up browse-based videos, they kind of either go or they don't, and then they can sit for a while and maybe they get picked up later. Search-based are always coming up when people look for something. So then as soon as someone looks for it, your video can appear. It might be further down the page, but it will at least appear and people will see it. You've got a higher chance of more people over a long period of time viewing your videos if you follow this strategy. That was my strategy. You're probably not going to blow up overnight like this, but I wouldn't expect that. Like, we're not good at YouTube yet. It takes time to get good at doing YouTube and learning how to do it, and I wouldn't rush that. I would rather build a solid foundation of subscribers and followers and build a channel that's growing steadily all the time than try to chase a kind of a lottery ticket at this stage. So in that sense, this is a strategy. Now, when we talk about viewer retention, this is probably one of the hardest parts of YouTube. Viewer retention simply refers to getting someone to click the video and then watch the video, and not drop out and watch something else. The first and biggest mistake, and I made this mistake a lot, and I've got rid of some of those videos because they were not good, is that when someone clicks your video, they want to know that they're going to get what they came for. It's called delivering the click. So what we have to do is make sure that the first things that we're saying align with the title and the thumbnail. So this intro to the video is called the hook. There are different ways of doing this, and I think it's like an ongoing skill that people develop, and it's not the easiest thing to do. But I'm going to give you a simple formula that you can use for a lot of types of videos. There are other ones out there and more complicated ones, and you can research those as well. But I think for the types of video that I'm talking about here, which is the review videos, this will work for you, and it's enough to get people watching. So the first part of the hook is immediate engagement. What are we talking about? In this instance, I'm going to pretend that I'm going to be doing a review of a Canon R5 camera for landscape photography. So my immediate engagement would be to confirm that I'm reviewing the Canon R5. I'll show you the intro in a moment. The next part would be to establish some form of credibility. That would be for me to say how long I've been using this thing for. If I got it last week, week or 2 days ago, that's a big difference from having used it for the last 2 years. That changes the credibility of the review. And the last part of this type of hook is the viewer benefit. What's in it for the viewer? Why should they watch this video? So my hook might look like this. Hi everyone, I'm Martin Castine. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Canon R5. I've been using the Canon R5 for the last 2 years for my landscape photography. In this video, I'm going to talk about the things that I like and I don't like about it. And by the end of the video, you should have a really good idea if this camera is for you or not. So you see, that was a basic hook, a basic introduction, but it let people know what the video was about. It let them know that I've used the product, and it let them know what's in it for them as well and why they should keep watching. At this point, at least, they're not going to click away so easily. And most viewers, when they're watching our videos, leave in the first 30 seconds. So it's really important that we hook them in like this so they stay watching the video for as long as possible. And then when you're planning out your videos and how the rest of the video should flow, you should really think about the things that you want to talk about. Have some things to say, bullet points written down. And it's a good idea to practice some of these things beforehand, especially because you're probably going to be a bit nervous on camera. You're doing this the first time. I'll speak about that in a moment as well. But you need to have a bullet point list and then try to not talk about those things for more than about a minute at a time, unless you've really got a lot to say that's of value to the audience. One thing you don't want to do, which I've done in the past and I see other people do, is start rambling on about stuff that's not connected to the video that you're talking about. It's an easy thing to do, to go off on a tangent, start rambling about stuff that isn't connected to the actual video. Try to stay on topic and remember that people are there just to listen to that thing. They only really want to hear about the thing that's in the title of the video. Now, when you launch your first videos, there's a reasonable chance they're not going to do that well at the start. But don't worry. As you build up a catalogue of videos, you keep putting them out, keep doing it. By the time you've got 20 videos and they're on the same topic, YouTube's going to know who to show these videos to, and you'll start seeing that your older videos will start picking up and gathering some traction. You just need to build some momentum at the beginning. This was a concept that was really important to me. This idea of building momentum, putting these videos out, try and post once a week, once every 2 weeks. I think once every 2 weeks is a good schedule. Put those videos out and try and do it consistently and make sure that there's a running theme with the type of videos you're doing. You want YouTube to be able to look at your channel, look at your titles, and really easily understand what your channel's about. This was another reason I wanted to go for search-related videos, because you can look, a computer can look down that list of titles and very easily understand what your channel is about and start trying to match your channel to a potential audience. You are not trying to please the algorithm. The algorithm is really simple. Mr. Beast has talked about this in his videos before, and he's absolutely right, and because it's logical. What YouTube wants you to do is make videos that people want to watch. It's as simple as that. And if your videos aren't good enough, people won't watch them. And if they are good, people will watch them. So all the algorithm is doing, it's not something you need to please. It's not something you need to find out about. I don't do any research on the YouTube algorithm whatsoever. I just try to think of videos that I think I would want to watch, that people would want to watch, and that are relevant to me. I don't want to make stuff that I don't want to make. I don't want to make stuff to try and please an algorithm or an audience type. If people are watching your videos, they're probably not good enough, but also take into account when you're a new channel, you don't have much authority. And this is one of the things that we're trying to build. This is why you need to stay very much on topic for a period of time. YouTube needs to be able to match you up with an audience based on the topic. And by sticking to a genre, sticking to things properly, at least at the beginning, you can do that. And you can definitely branch out, I think, later on once you've got a bit more of a following. Now, another thing you can do is you can look at your YouTube analytics afterwards. You can see, are there any dips in your video? This indicates parts where people are dropping out because they're losing interest. And you can watch that part of the video and find out what you were doing, what you were saying that was making people lose interest. This is a really important part of the analytics, but I'll go more into YouTube analytics in another video. So if you want to see stuff like that, remember to subscribe to this channel, because I will do some videos on things like this as well. I see all the time people, when they talk to me about YouTube, because people ask me about being a YouTuber, that they're scared because they're too young, they're scared because they're too old, they're scared because of the way they look and this, that, and the other, anything you can think of. But I would say to you, look, I'm here, I'm doing this, I'm talking to you now, I can do it. And every type of person, shape, form, whatever you can think of, there are successful YouTubers of that type. So whoever you are and however you are, there are successful YouTubers that are like you. So there is really nothing stopping you from doing this. And I would say when you're recording these videos, the way to get over the fear of doing it is, and this took me time, believe me, is to realize it's not a live stream. No matter what you do, it doesn't matter if you make mistakes because you only include what you want to put in. So like, I'll leave something in now. I'm going to drink something and leave it in because I just choose to. It doesn't really matter, does it? I could cut that out and I can do other things. I'm not live streaming, and it's really important to remember that. Just goof around in front of the camera, recording it and watch it back, and don't stick it on YouTube if you're nervous. Do it like that and you'll be okay and you'll have an easier time. Right, that's enough of that. That's all you're getting today. Like, subscribe and all that. See you next time. Bye.